Emeka Egbuka going to what? Saturn, Jupiter?
To Jupiter.
I mean, we've had a good couple days, I'll tell you that. Emeka Egbuka, we tried to warn people to get this kid. He's a top 12 wide receiver. Not of the future, now. And while Jalen McMillan, the news right now, if you can't see on screen, McMillan out at least 9 weeks through the week 10 bye, maybe longer. They're hopeful with the neck he'll be able to even come back. And while he's not like the biggest threat in the world to Emeka Egbuka on the surface level, given Godwin's not ready, given Evans is older, my prediction in my last video said, who's the next Puka Nacua? It's this man right here. And now we're staring at a potential situation where he's the number 2. And then if Evans, who's an older player, gets banged up at all, he's the only one there. Godwin's not a spring chicken and coming back from a major lower leg injury and probably one of the most injury-prone wide receivers in the league at an older age. Evans is up there, and the odds of Evans having a spectacular injury-free season is near slim to none at his age. Emeka Egbuka might be the team's number 1 wide receiver for handfuls of weeks throughout the year. At some point, I'm not saying week one he's the number 2 receiver, but he might operate at a rotational basis with Mike Evans as the number 1. He's that good. This guy is fluid. This guy is as fluid as Malik Neighbors in his route running and his precision. And you can say whatever you want about, oh, you just call Malik. We've been talking about his route running, his hands, his skill set that Baker says you can't teach. BTJ was a player ranked in the middle of a rookie draft in 2024, and he was wide receiver number 4 overall. Don't tell me that Egbuka can't be the next BTJ. We've already predicted it. You're either on board or you're off. We're not letting you on this train. We're not letting you on this train. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday,
8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Egbuka is going to ball. We got one negative Nancy in the chat. Matt, you can leave. I'll give you an opportunity to stay. But you want to continue to be, what you're being in the chat, we don't need you here. Door's right there. No one's forcing you to watch. No one's forcing you to win. We're going to open the phone lines almost immediately on this one because Emeka Egbuka is going to the moon, and we need to talk about who's got a space shuttle ticket to the moon, to Mars, to Jupiter, to Saturn. As the stock goes up on this kid. Now, we're not here to celebrate injury to Jalen McMillan. Prayers up to McMillan. Matt drafted McMillan, probably. Anybody that even dares to come in here and say a negative thing about Emeka Egbuka, has 0 shares. Do you think that someone wouldn't? Let's say you're sitting at home, okay? Ma's cooking the meatloaf or warming it up. The Game Boy's got brand new batteries in it. The Hot Pocket, you just downed it. And you're sitting there in your recliner and you hear that the guy that you've been drafting because of this show, you've been drafting over and over on repeat, just got a big bump. Do you think, can you imagine walking into a live stream and being negative toward that player? No, you're going to be ear to ear grin. You're going to be pumped and excited. Anybody that's negative is jealous they don't have him. There's no way a human being isn't biasly eating all this information up. like even, and I'm not saying that it's not accurate, but if you are a Emeka Egbuka owner, you're just gobbling this up like it's Thanksgiving dinner. There's no way this is hitting weird. There's no way that this is hitting in a way that you're just like, well, I don't know. We'll see. You're literally going, he's going to the moon. Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, go get new batteries. Let's open up the phone lines in a second. Like, where's his ADP gonna climb? Where's his ADP? And no one's saying Jalen McMillan is, you know, even that big of a deal at the end of the day. Like, this guy's not being held back by Jalen McMillan. But the kind of moral of the story here is that there's no, this room is banged up. It's got Evans and Egbuka, and that's it. I'm not saying there are other wide receivers on the roster. I'm just saying that this is the number 2. There's no like competition. There's no, okay, well, he's great, but they still might rotate. No, Emeka Egbuka is all over the field. Buka to the moon. What's Buka's projection? I said this on my previous video. Who's the next Puka Nacua? Emeka Egbuka. I said 80, I think 82, 1,100, and 10 TDs. That's what my I don't even want to say it's my high projection. Kind of feels like almost a low to mid projection. What are we doing, Smitty? Gold member up in here. Everything he touches is gold. Look, today and yesterday we've been smashing him out of the park. We need to get this Buka video up and running. Phone lines are open. Dial in. Let me know what, tell your winning stories. Go ahead. It's story time.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
It is quite ironic how this news broke after the Emeka Egbuka video this morning. Early, it's 4:30 in the morning. That video wasn't the first time we've talked about Buka being the next, BTJ. But it's ironic that I decided to beat a dead horse this morning on the Buka video, and then literally handful of hours later, we get even more, another pot of gold set right on our doorsteps. Go ahead, you're live, 609. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Bruce from New Jersey.
Oh, Bruce. I don't know why the phone line is not telling me some of the numbers when you call, but Bruce, what is up? How are you winning today?
Well, I'm 50-50 because I'm winning because I got Egbuka in 2 of my dynasty leagues, but I'm 50-50 because when I go to a couple of my redrafts this weekend, is he going to go in the same ADP value as like a Harvey, a Hendy?
Oh, I'd have to say the ADP of Buka probably going to go in the territory of 5 now. Zach says, bro, you got to stop hyping these people up. By the time the draft gets here, everybody's going to want these people. That's the point, though. You know what I mean? Zach, that's my job. That's my job.
Right.
That's my job. And honestly, you should already own him in so many leagues because of this channel. You should already own Buka in so many leagues.
He's on a shuttle to
because
Mars.
of this channel.
Mars man.
Look at Buka. Buka's been on there from the beginning of the offseason. Buka's been on here before the NFL draft. Buka's my number 2 wide receiver, unwavering, all offseason long, January through today. Not Tet McMillan. I like Tet. No one's trying to trash Tet. People think I hate Tet because I have Egbuka number 2 all offseason. Not a single day, not a single moment, not a single hour have I wavered. This is the number 2 wide receiver, really arguably the most qualified to be considered the most NFL ready. Now Hunter's bleeding with talent, and Hunter and Egbuka might, just like Hendy and Genty, are maybe more of a battle than anybody ever anticipated outside of this channel. I think Buka and Hunter could go neck and neck and head to head, and Buka might be the number 1 wide receiver in the draft class, all said and done. And that's going to become a really trendy topic right now on all these other channels. They're going to go, I've got a bold take right now. Buka might be the number 1 wide receiver at the end of the year. What a big, bold take, Stevie. Yeah, isn't that a good one? I just thought of it right now. I've had it for 10 minutes. Wow, that's fantastic. What a big, bold take, you big, bold guy. You big, bold guy. This has been the unwavering number 2 rookie rank wide receiver on this channel, and it hasn't been close. It hasn't been close at all. The only close thing is Travis Hunter and Egbuka. That's the only thing that's close right here. All right, Bruce, so I'm going to probably say round 5. And maybe even higher, maybe even late 4, because if Tet McMillan on underdog, and I think it's ridiculous that he's climbed to the 3-4 turn, it just doesn't leave any room for upside. It's not that he can't be a league winner in 6 or 7 like on ESPN ADP. Underdog promo code Smitty if you want to draft with us tonight. Make sure you hit this link right here, and the link will insert code Smitty, and they'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. But I mean, Nathan says, but Matthew Golden isn't on your radar, though. Shaking my head. Sorry, Nathan. Nathan, Matthew Golden's not Buka, bro. You know, Matthew Golden, he can maybe trail behind him and hold his jock strap when he's wanting to change it out. But other than that, Nathan, there's no room for that kind of talk right now. We're talking about elite talents right here. We're not talking about a player that's this much lower. We're talking about an elite BTJ meets Lad McConkey. We're viewing Buka, like I said in my previous video before any of the snooze broke this morning, my previous video, we're talking about Buka like next year. This time next year, we're talking about Buka and ranking Buka where we talk about and rank Lad McConkey this year in this year's draft. Egbuka. It's probably the closest thing to Puka Nacua is Egbuka. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Big Pippin. Pippin's dropping a good one today. This is going to be tough to stomach when you see his ADP go from 6-7 Buka to like 4-5. Hopefully he stays in 5. I don't want to see him in 4 because there's a lot of other players that I want to draft that I need on my team. And now Buka is climbing to 4-5. We'll see. Hopefully he stays in 5. But Tet McMillan is 6'7" ESPN that can win a league. This is not a guy that doesn't like Tet McMillan. People say that about me because they hear me talk of Buka and they're confused. And they don't know what time it is. Because what I'm saying is from 6 to 7, Tet can win you a league. From 5 to 6, Buka can win you a league. But neither one needs to be in 3. And if Tet's going 3-4 turn, I can't imagine what's going to happen now. Our Jacory Krosky Merritt call is absolute gold. Do you know Jacory Krosky Merritt, midseason monster extraordinaire, also, where's Moonman and midseason monster extraordinaire? Do you guys know that Jacory Krosky Merritt, the player we've talked about all offseason?
Space Monsters.
Some of you run your mouth and say, oh, you just get on this train now? Why don't you ask around before you run your mouth on something like that? Jacory Krosky Merritt, who we've been on all offseason, was going in rounds 15, 14, 18, undrafted, is now going in 7, 8, 9 today. Depends on what league you're in. Depends on how many, trigger-happy, Washington Commander fans you have in your draft. But on underdog, he's going in 7, 8, 9. He's not even in double-digit rounds anymore. Jacory Krosky Merritt has climbed. Bill has climbed all the way to 7, 8, 9. Buka is next.
He's
I said it last night.
Mars man.
I've said it for months. Good luck getting him now. Bruce, what else can I do for you? And then I got another phone call. I'll put you on mute after you say your last words, my boy.
How do you think, personally, this would affect HHH and Associates, or are they going to move them up and down or anything?
I don't think they get in front of Hendy or Hampton. Probably Harvey could be bumped down a spot or two, but so that would be a good and a pro and a con. If Egbuka climbed high enough and moved Harvey and Hunter down, at least we have that. I would not be shocked if Buka climbed well above Hunter. And I'm not shocked if either one outscores the other.
Okay. All right. I'll just go on mute.
All right, later. Yeah, sit right there. JP says 6'7" question mark. Well, he was already going at 6'7", so no. Unfortunately. Oh, maybe you mean Corey Krosky Merritt. He's been going 7'8", 9. 941. What's your name and where are you calling from? 941.
Yeah, this is Zach from Michigan. I
Zach?
was the one that just said you gotta stop. You gotta stop hyping these people up.
Yeah, I know you're kidding.
Is it crazy for me to think that like you are hyping these ADPs up somehow, like over all platforms? It's crazy because every time you talk about somebody, they go crazy.
But
these
as much as I like to pretend that I have that kind of pull, especially on Underdog where there's hundreds of thousands. No, I can't even move that. I'm not oblivious to that. On Sleeper, we used to. When we used to mock draft, no one mock drafts anymore, bro. You go to mock draft, it's literally a ghost town. But back before Best Ball really got going 2 years ago, we would move Sleeper ADP by the 2, 3, 4 overall spots easily. And I don't say that like necessarily bragging. Sometimes it was in a negative way. Like we would be hyping up a player and we're like, be quiet, don't tell. And then people would draft him 2 rounds early when we'd snipe each other. And I'm like, stop it. And we move a player's ADP up a significant amount unnecessarily. But yeah, we move ADPs in the mock draft world because the volume of mock drafters is a lot smaller than the volume of best ballers. We can't move an ADP on best ball. We can help attribute like trigger a snowball effect or whatever. But the thing you got to understand, bro, is it's not, and I'm not trying to toot the show's horn, but I kind of am. The things that are moving, we're predicting before the news hits for it. Like Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, I mean, look what happened. You know, a significant event happened.
So that's what I'm saying.
I know, but we're predicting the event, but the event is what's moving the ADP. But yeah, we're ahead on all this shit, bro. I mean, we've been crushing it.
About the whole situation is that, like, I've been listening to you and I like all this stuff you're saying and all the information you're giving. And it's like if preseason wasn't here and my draft came, everything would be all great. But like you're giving all this good information and then all of a sudden these people blow up in preseason and it's like, well, fuck, there goes my chance again.
Yeah, but bro, like, that's why we're crushing ADP, or that's why we're crushing Underdog drafts. Promo code Smitty. You know what I mean? That's why Underdog is so important. If you can't draft on Underdog, then I feel bad for you and I'm sorry. But if it's not in your state or whatever, but Underdog, I just dropped the link, promo code Smitty. You gotta realize that we have dynasty leagues that we can take advantage of this stuff for in a dynasty trade. We've got, early, you can even do an early, if you can't do Underdog, you can do an early ESPN draft, where you can do an early
so if
ESPN.
I did Underdog, I always hear you talking about Underdog. I don't know if maybe everybody in this chat knows exactly what it is, but I'm not even sure exactly what it is. So like you draft these people, you don't move them throughout the year, you don't bench people, you don't start them.
So
they start all year.
On Underdog, the link is in the description. It sounds like something when you first hear about best ball. Click the link, it's in the description. I'll drop it one more time. We'll be drafting tonight. We draft every midnight Eastern, bro. You're missing out big time on being a part of these drafts.
I gotta get up at 4:30 Eastern for
okay.
work.
Well, you could still draft it any time you want. But best ball is you essentially draft 18 guys. You have 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, a tight end. And you don't set any lineups. You draft 18 guys, and your best scoring team each week gets inserted for you optimal scoring. Now, it sounds a little bit like, well, what's the fun in that? Like, where's the skill in that? Bro, let go of that because there's so much other skill involved in trying to balance the bye weeks, trying to figure out what the best combo would be, trying to look at the schedule, trying to realize that if you make it into the first round of the playoffs, what is the playoff schedule? If you had to deal with setting lineups as well, it would be way too much. Like there's so much strategy all by itself. Let me merge these 2 calls. Mute yourself real quick, my guy. I'll be right with you. Just mute. Thank you. And hey, mute real quick. I'll be right with you, bro. Just mute it. So anyway, best ball. We've been cleaning up on Egbuka, Krosky, Merritt, Harvey, Hendy, Hunter. Mute yourself, callers, please, or I'll hang up on you. Hunter was going in round 9 or 10 or 11 for the majority of the offseason heading into the NFL draft. So imagine taking Harvey in the 120s or 140s. Imagine taking Hunter in the I would say it was about I forget if it was like 120, 140, 120, 110 for Hunter. Harvey was in the 120s to 140s. Hendy was in the 80s, 90s, sometimes the hundreds before the NFL draft. And there's different tournaments. There's tournaments before the NFL draft, and then they close, and there's no best ball open until after the NFL draft. So it's like 2 different waves. We were cleaning up, bro. And even when the best ball drafts opened after the NFL draft, that first night, it was using the ADP from the last time. So Harvey was still going in 6-7 suggested rank. And we cleaned up for one night on Harvey's new Denver Bronco landing spot in rounds like 6 and 7. And then his ADP climbed. So anyway, the bottom line is, there's a lot of opportunity to take advantage of the information you're talking about before it hits, shit hits the fan. But bro, you can still draft in ESPN early redrafts in early August or July. There's a lot of opportunity for you to get into a draft before. That's why it's so funny when people tell me this is why you wait to draft when an injury happens. There's so much more benefit to drafting early because of getting all these names before these things happen.
Yeah, I'm just talking about my main. I got 3 main leagues, and like they haven't drafted yet. Obviously, they go about 1 week prior to the regular season starting. So like, by that time, like to be able to get these 2. I've been listening to you do this for like a while now, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I want these. Like these. This sounds great. And now I'm looking at their ADPs, and it's like, well, damn, I'm gonna have to take these people hella early to even be able to get a shot at them.
Yeah. All right, keep my monetization good on the bombs, bro.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. Mute yourself. Let me go over. Ron Navy, you are live, young man. We haven't heard from you in a while, so Ron's gonna jump the phone line here, and then I've got a whole loaded phone line. Go ahead, Ron Navy. I know you. The reason I brought you in is because I know, for one, you're not going to argue with me today because you love Egbuka too, and you've been drafting.
Egbuka to the freaking moon, dude.
Yeah,
we were talking about this like way from the beginning about how Egbuka, how he's going to fit with Tampa, and we weren't worried about it because we knew Evans is older. We knew Godwin's injury history. We knew all this stuff was possible, so we were like Egbuka to the moon since the very beginning. Yeah,
this is gonna be interesting because, I mean, he's now the number 2. I mean, he already was, in my mind, just like Harvey's the 1 in Denver, but he might not start in name week 1, But Buka now, even if he was going to go through those rookie hoops, like, hey, let's make him earn his stripes, whatever, he's now, we need you. We're calling, he's going to report for duty. And what has Buka done his entire college career? Done whatever's been asked of him. This is what makes Buka maybe the next, not just Puka or BTJ, but maybe even, I'm not saying lock it in, but there's potential Malik Neighbors type stuff here. The reason being is there's nobody more versatile that's really come out of college at the wide receiver position in a long time than this kid, because he's been asked, think about when you break your arm, you break your right arm, you're right-handed, you got to learn how to use your left hand. You're not very good at stuff with your left hand. You start getting good. Then when your arm's healed, now you're versatile. You can do so many different things. You're far better off than you were when you just didn't have a broken arm. Buka has been asked to move all around his wide receiver rooms. He's played with better wide receivers by far than the wide receivers that are currently in his Tampa Bay wide receiver room. And that's saying something from a Hall of Famer, Mike Evans. He's played with Jeremiah Smith. He's played with Chris Olave. He's played with JSN. He's played with MHJ. Jeremiah Smith alone is thought to be probably the best wide receiver prospect that will probably sniff for 10 years at the wide receiver position. He's played with all those players. And what has Buka done in all these rooms? Hey, move over here. Hey, we need you over here. He's a rover. So he's learned all the positions. He's lined up everywhere. His route tree is more advanced than MHJ or probably even BTJ at this point. That's how much Buka's been learning everything he can because he's been moved around and he's always been asked to do this. Have him do this. Who are you calling upon right now? When you're like, look, we're down more guys. Buka reporting for duty, sir. I mean, that's give me some
song, right?
Give me some salutes in the chat.
Buka.
The new emoji for Buka is the salute because he's reporting for duty. No matter what is asked of him, he reports to duty. You want to play slot today? No, I'll do whatever you want, sir. And Buka goes out there, play slot. You need him to play on the outside, go play on the outside. Run go routes. You want to catch some screen passes today? Let's do that. Buka reporting for duty. And there's no better player for this situation either. Because guess what? He's ready for any of it. You need to put me here. You need to put me there. This guy, and that touchdown catch the other night was so unbelievable when you watch it and break it down. That throw was great. The throw was in the corner of the end zone. But the fact that Buka made the defensive back unaware of where the football was, not alerting him when he was going to put his hands out and catch it, and then the way he made his body go limp and then reached under the defender to catch the ball, and then after that had the wherewithal to make sure his elbow was down because he knew he couldn't get necessarily his legs where he needed to get in order to make sure the play was in bounds. So he put his elbow down. The guy is a veteran. I've never seen someone look more fluid and veteran-like than Egbuka in his position. So I'm really excited about this. Why we've been talking about him all offseason. He's been my unwavering number 2 wide receiver. And there's definitely a world where just like Hendy could be better than Genty, without that being a negative on Genty whatsoever. Genty could be everything we've ever thought he could be, but Hendy might also be that. Buka, even though I love Hunter, and Hunter is still my number 1 because he bleeds talent we've never seen before at the wide receiver position. And then Jeremiah Smith might come in and outdo that, because every year these guys almost get a little bit better because you keep hearing it's the best since ever. He's the best ever. He's the best ever. MHA is the best ever. But they're getting stronger, better, faster, more versed, more NFL ready. So Jeremiah Smith might trump that. But this guy right here has been my unwavering 2. But I'm telling you right now, would not be shocked if he was the number 1 overall, just like BTJ was the number 1 of all the rookies and not expected. Would not be shocked if Buka walks out as the uncontested rookie wide receiver 1 from the class, but also a locked and loaded top 10 overall wide receiver minimum walking into 2026 drafts, meaning we are ranking him where we rank Ladd right now. Ladd's going in the 2nd round. Buka might climb into the 3-4 now. Imagine what he climbs into in 2026. And Baker there for the long term. Baker's a dog. Baker loves him. Baker respects him. Baker knows how to feed him. This is a match made in heaven. The offense is going to be electric year over year. What do you want from a wide receiver or a running back or any player, rather, for that matter? It is a great offense, and he's in that environment. Every box is checked. Great offense, good quarterback, cannon of an arm, dog of a quarterback, in the red zone constantly, in dogfight games, and a guy that's versatile, beyond versatile, that could go anywhere where you need him to go. And there's a vacancy for the number 1 wide receiver spot. It just didn't look that clear, like Ron just said, from the beginning. It didn't look clear. Gibbs got drafted to Detroit, didn't look clear, and it cleared up really quickly. Buka lands in Tampa, didn't look very clear. Godwin's actually more injured than anybody let on. Now you got Jalen McMillan, not only falling kind of to the wayside, but also now injured and out till week 10. You got Evans aging out. This is cleared up really quickly.
And what did they find out? I didn't hear exactly what they found out with McMillan. What was
his neck?
Diagnosis?
Pretty severe neck.
Like like a break?
No. Some of the here, I'll pull up some of the details on it, but some of the details aren't fully released yet. But let me see if we have an update.
And what about Bridgewater? For him to be as old as he is, to come in there and throw those passes that he threw. I mean, Embuka, that was a fantastic catch, but Bridgewater put it to where he could go get it, and only he could get it. And he did it with Irving too. He threw that beautiful pass into the corner of the end zone to Irving.
Yeah. We got an all capital Caleb in here. He's not happy. Marcus doesn't have any Egbuka shares. He's all capital Caleb. Alert, panic.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
Hold on a second. I don't own Egbuka. I don't have any. My name is Marcus. I don't have any Egbuka. Stand down. Push the caps button down. Let's start typing. Good offense. Can't call it great until we see what the new OC does. Cohen turned Baker into what we all thought he was. So he's not. Marcus, I can almost guarantee you're going to tell me otherwise, but you don't have any Buka shares. And you're going to say, yeah, do I own him in 3? You don't. Because if you did, you'd be so biasly fed right now. It doesn't matter. Like Ron's not even seeing clearly. Ron's not wrong for loving Buka, but Ron's living on cloud 9 right now because he's got Buka shares. So this is music ears. He doesn't care. He's not taking in any negatives. He's just living it up. If you got,
you remember in our the voicemail league, Smitty, and we're all in there, right? And I got Embuka, and I mean, you guys were trying hard to get Embuka from me, and I'm not giving Embuka up for nothing.
Yeah, but I do have him. See, no, you don't. You don't, because if you did, you'd be in here going, Smitty, this is all correct. And it's not that you'd be wrong. I'm not saying that you'd be blindly just accepting what you hear, but this is feeding your bias. And so anybody that owns Buka is absorbing this. It's just natural. It's nature. You leave it to me to try to be as unbiased as possible, but this is a safe space to come and just absorb when you're ready. When it's a hype show and it's about your player, you don't need to think. Just come in, sit back, kick your feet up, and just take it in like a ray of sunshine. But if you're coming in and fighting with me on the player you have and that he's not going to be as good, you don't actually have the player. All right. Let me go over to the phone line, Ron. Hold on. Mute yourself real quickly if you don't mind. Or just, you're always pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'll mute.
512, you're live. What can I do for you, 512? What's your name or where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Texas.
What's up, my man?
Hey, I was wondering, because I'm really bullish on Egbuka, obviously, because of the news. I'm trying to get off of CMC, and I'm thinking I might have to get rid of him and possibly Brees Hall so that I can flip him for, like, a Chase Brown and a Drake London. But I'm kind of hesitant because Brees is my flex, so I'm really high on Egbuka. I'd like to try to do this so I can upgrade my Garrett Wilson, get off of CMC, and then maybe have Egbuka be my flex. I don't know. What do you think?
So what's the? Buka should be your flex, but what's the trade again? Say it one more time. It was CMC and Brees for London and Chase Brown.
CMC, Garrett Wilson and Brees for Drake London and Chase Brown.
Yeah, that's you throw in Garrett Wilson, it makes it tough. Can you throw in somebody else? Because now you're changing it a little bit to where it's like
I've got Puka and Jerry Jeudy as my other guys.
I mean, it's a lot. If you did CMC and Garrett Wilson, I like that. You start throwing in like Brees Hall, like he's some throw-in. He's still got top 5 to 10 running back appeal. Not that you're gonna expect that, but he's got the appeal for it. You're kind of giving him an extra little piece that I don't like. I don't like that. Because at the end of the day, Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall could still like contend a little bit. I still would much rather have Chase Brown in London, of course, but I feel like it's more about the market value, trying to get the most before you bail out. You know what I mean? So I think
It's just I'm having a hard time trusting the Jets right now, and I've got both Brees and Garrett Wilson.
It doesn't mean you throw them to the Wolves for nothing. That's what you're kind of just throwing Brees in. You know?
Well, the other thing too is that this team, honestly, my league, they hate Christian McCaffrey. So it's not like I'm trying to throw him in as a whatever. I'm trying to add a little bit of that
Well,
sweetener because they also need a little bit of running back help.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
can you get anything else though? Is what I'm trying to say. Can you be like, look, I'm giving you like a free Brees Hall, bro. I mean, just try and get a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. You know,
I could try maybe Ted McMillan. He's kind of banged up. Maybe he can come off of that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that in is, but I don't think you're going to get that. But like, what other players does he have? Maybe there's a example of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You know, would have been great. Now that's off the table, but there might be another player. You know, Egbuka was on the table, and you know, I know you got him, but I'm saying like now everyone is going to be all over him. You know, so these players, they're hiding. So if you tell me a couple of the players on his bench that we might like, maybe like the Ted McMillan route, but
yeah, he's got Tank Bigsby, he's got Braylon Allen. You know, that's kind of it for that
what about
range.
Tootin?
He's got a Nick Chubb.
Does he have Tootin as well?
No, he doesn't.
I like Bigsby, but I would want Tootin as well. And if he could give you both of those, it'd be different.
Well,
I don't know. Chat, what do you think in this situation? It's still, he needs to keep shopping. It's not that we don't want you to get rid of Christian McCaffrey. And I know you're saying nobody wants him, but you're about to do a trade right now, so clearly you can get rid of him. It's just hard. But chat, he's saying he's at a cul-de-sac, dead end right now. He thinks. I don't know if I fully believe that you can't still look, but Christian McCaffrey, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson for London Chase Brown. Does he just pull the trigger and say, I'll take it? Let's say you get Tank Bigsby thrown in. Who's doing that with Tank Bigsby thrown in? And then what I'm doing if I do that though is I'm going and trying to get Tootin immediately.
He's on my free agency. I could go scoop him, but I just don't have him on my bench for him right now.
Yeah. The chat is saying keep shopping. Way too much.
Okay.
Keep CMC and Brees. Can he swap Judy instead of Garrett Wilson? I agree with that if you could. Bigsby's like intriguing. If you get Tootin, it's kind of decent. You know what I mean? Chat, what if he gets Tootin off waivers, gets Bigsby thrown in, and then he's kind of got Bigsby, Tootin, Chase Brown, and London in a way for the Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, CMC. What do you guys think on that?
The best course of action might just be on just to wait, because we're not we're not good for CMC for all year long. But if CMC comes out really strong and has a good first couple of games, his value is gonna go up, and people are gonna give you more because they're gonna think he's gonna be able to survive the whole season, and he more than likely is not going to.
Yeah, I mean, look, Liam Cohen's going to turn Tank Bigsby Tootin into a marvel. So I do love getting into that side of this. So I would definitely be interested in adding Bigsby and getting Tootin. If he had Tootin and Bigsby and he's giving you both of them, I'd say smash this trade. Tootin's out there, so you kind of can complete the situation here. What is everybody thinking here? Bigsby and Tootin. If you get Tootin and you like it, Tank. I got a Tank. Marcus, you don't know what you're talking about here. It's like this first time on the show or something. Look at him now. He's like, oh, now Liam Cohen prays. Bro,
I love Egbuka so much.
Some people just don't know what they're doing.
I'm really
hold on a second. Marcus, what do you think you're doing here? Do you think you're schooling me or teaching me something? Do you think I'm not talking? Like it's like you don't even know though, Marcus. You said you've been here for 3 years, but I don't think you have. You said you've got shares of Egbuka. I don't think you have, because if you've been here for 3 years, then I talk up Liam Cohen every day. I talk up the running backs there. I just made a statement that Liam Cohen's going to turn Tootin or Bigsby into a monster, and you make a statement like you just showed up for the first time. Because that's what this statement means. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 question marks, 2 exclamation points, on me praising Liam Cohen. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. It's unbelievable what people open their mouth about stuff that they have no idea what they're talking about. Marcus, you don't know what you're saying at all. You don't know anything about what you're saying at all. You can't even comprehend it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. Oh, damn it. The phone line hung up on everybody. Go ahead and call back. Caller and Ron and everybody else. I'm sorry about that. 619, 619, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Johnny, Smitty.
Johnny, what's up?
It's Johnny 777. I think that let me make sure I'm turning this off. Okay. I think when you're saying who's the next oh my gosh, my brain.
Puka, BTJ?
No, the
Bucky?
Receiver for the Rams. I'm having a brain.
Puka,
yeah. When you're saying who's the new Puka and you're saying it's Egbuka, I don't think it's fair to Egbuka because he's going to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's
is that your underhanded way of saying Buka's better? hold on, let me get Ron in here. One second. Hold on, Ron. 1 second. Let me merge you here. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Is that your underhanded way of saying Buka's better?
In a way, yeah. I just think he has the potential to be the next Puka with an Egbuka touchdown upside. So yeah. I really think that he could literally be better, and then we won't even be saying who's the next Puka anymore.
You know what's funny?
The next Egbuka.
Yeah, next Egbuka Puka. Hold on, let me merge this guy. You know what's funny though, for all the people that are about to there's probably a couple people just smashing their keyboard like Marcus on all caps, saying you can't. You talk about Puka being the next Puka. Keep in mind that if you said or wanted to say that BTJ was going to be the next Puka, or that even Lad McConkey would be the next Puka, people would have said you can't say that. You can say whatever you want. That's the beauty of this thing. But
you know what's funny, Smitty, is he make that comment in there about Baker ain't going to be a top 10 quarterback and blah, and all capitals and everything. But if you do say BTJ, is Lawrence a top 10 quarterback? If you do say McConkey has he been a top 10 quarterback the last couple of years? No.
Don't worry about Marcus.
What Marcus is saying makes no freaking sense whatsoever.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he doesn't know what he's saying. It's fine. And then he was trying to say, I never said it like Egbuka. Well, Marcus, if you like Egbuka, you're doing a piss poor job of letting people know. I'll tell you that, because you've been typing in caps all show long about how we're just way too high on this thing. We better back and take our foot up the gas pedal. Marcus is probably in here when I predicted JD5. Marcus is probably in here saying this when I predicted Penix Jr. Marcus is probably in here when I predicted that Caleb would be the biggest disappointment, #1 overall pick we've seen in some time. Marcus is probably in here when I said Achane would be Achane, and he was in here going, Achane's going to break. Marcus is probably in here when we said it about Kyron. Marcus, is the same thing over and over and over. I don't have time for your Mickey Mouse games. And you're not you're not even listening either. You're not even listening.
Smitty, also to Ron's point.
He's doing it for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. To Ron's point about BTJ and how he had Lawrence thrown to him. Well, what about when he didn't have Lawrence? He had a backup quarterback and he was still kicking butt.
Okay, actually,
BTJ.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Ron's 100% right there. Here's what he says.
Yeah.
Marcus says, I appreciate you saying my name. I want the fame. Guess what, Marcus? I will never read your comment for the rest of the time that you're here. How's that? You are now never going to be acknowledged by me. So now you're done. Now you just ruined it for yourself. You are done.
You're done.
Don't even know who that is anymore. Won't read a comment anymore. He's done. All right. Let me go over to the other phone caller real quickly. Hold on 1 second. Just mute yourself. I mean, it's a good way to get off of my good list, and then you want attention, and now you're done. Johnny, Johnny, you're live, pal.
I already spoke. I'm on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny. So 801. Your name finally came up. The names aren't coming up sometimes, and then all of a sudden they do. Let me merge this call real quickly. Hold on, so it doesn't. Caller, mute yourself real quickly, please. Thank you. All right, let me go over to that other caller I just talked about. What was it? The 801. 801. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Smitty, it's Tyler. I just want to appreciate what you've done, and I don't know what the earlier guy was talking about.
He doesn't know.
Since you always do your homework and your job, we should draft the guy. Without you, I wouldn't know who Golden was. I don't know who Dart is, and I especially wouldn't know who Egbuka is.
I appreciate that. I'm not on Matthew Golden, though, just so you know. Go ahead.
I know, but
keep going.
I wouldn't know who he is, and now that Reed is in a walking boot, he might be the wide receiver one for Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely wouldn't know who Egbuka is because I'm, I'm only in fantasy football year 3, and now if everybody pays attention to preseason, he's going to be way better than Neighbors is.
Well, you're getting your wings.
In my personal opinion.
I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves and talk about Neighbors like that. I mean, come on. But anyway, point taken. Thank you, appreciate you, but don't speak so ill about Malik Neighbors like that, bro. Especially in public. But I will say this: I appreciate you, Egbuka to the moon. Buka has the chance to be a monster, and everybody should be careful though, Tyler, because the way you're talking about it right now, I don't want you to over absorb. You're absorbing now, and I like that, but you're drawing conclusions I've never drawn, like that Buka is going to be better than Neighbors. I never once said that. Neighbors is probably the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football dynasty. Probably the number 1. Him and Jamar Chase are on a whole nother level. I'm just saying Buka reminds me and plays a lot like Neighbors, and Buka's got top 12 wide receiver upside walking into next season, and he could play that way the entire 2025. So just be careful the way you're thinking that.
I know you never once said that, but there's a quick hill that people can go from Neighbors going from the 5th pick to next year going from a good player to JSN.
Mm-hmm.
From good to now he's average.
Yeah. All right, my boy. Anything else?
No, just wanted to appreciate what you do.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you, bro.
Bye.
All right. Okay, 219 caller, you're live. What can I do for you? What's your name and where are you calling from? 219.
Yeah, this is Andrew. I was calling from Maryland.
Hold on one second, Andrew. Mute yourself real quickly, please, and I'll be right with you. All right, Andrew from Maryland. Go ahead, Andrew from Maryland.
Yeah, so I want to say I don't like Egbuka.
You love
I love Egbuka.
I don't blame you. I think I'll submit it.
I went to the game. I went to the Commanders game last night, and Little Bill scored right in front of me. And I would say the people that are high on him now, I mean, I don't know where it came from, because everyone wants to act like they were on this train, before, and now people completely change their opinion on Little Bill.
Yeah.
They didn't even know his nickname.
No, and they're acting like they're so smart with the new nickname. Like as soon as it was said on TV, you got people going, "It's Bill." It's Bill.
Yeah, I mean, there was people around me that didn't even know who that was. So, I mean, and
which is fine. Which
so.
is fine. But it is annoying that the entire industry loves Bill now. The whole industry loves Bill.
Yeah.
Now. Bill's their call.
It'll
their
go
favorite.
away a little bit, but
maybe
I'll keep my stashes of him.
Yeah. But yeah, Buka's gonna be amazing. But there's no way Buka fails unless he gets hurt or something. Knock on wood. Like he's so ready. And it'd be one thing if Buka wasn't in such a phenomenal offense with Baker. Baker's going to feed the hell out of him. The offense is going to be lit, just as it was last year. You know, it's great to see Liam Cohen's kind of planting seeds everywhere. And it's great to, in some ways, it sucks to lose a player like that or lose an OC like that, because then you potentially lose players. But when you keep a guy like Baker there to carry on the system and the ways, and you got a still a really damn good head coach, you got a damn good system, you got a damn good everything, this is going to carry on. And I don't know that I feel the exact same way about Detroit, but I do feel like that's still possible. That we have some remnants, and then we get, you know, I don't think Ben Johnson is going to turn Caleb into a superstar, but could Caleb linger in the league for a while? Yeah, he could get benched for Bajan in week 10 just as easily, but could Caleb linger and play way above his pay grade? Absolutely. And so Ben Johnson's kind of doing that too, trying to, you know, plant his seeds everywhere. But I truly believe that Baker is the one quarterback, and that this is the one system, the one head coach, and the one situation where Liam's going to leave it in good hands. You know, he's graduating, and the team's still going to be in really good standing. I think Bucky's going to take such a big step forward that any sort of, you know, step backwards that could be maybe thought of to be occurring this year would be washed by Bucky's, you know, stepping up and catching more footballs. But Baker's really going to take over and really kind of guide this ship. I think Egbuka, you hear Baker talk about Buka, and he says things like, you just can't teach, you know, anybody how to move like he moves. And like my soccer analogy, when you kick a soccer ball, you pass the soccer ball to another teammate running down the field, you want to lead them with the ball. You kick the ball in front of them, and as they're running full speed, they just catch up with the ball, and then they start kicking the ball. There's no stop, you know, there's no stopping movements or creating extra movement or changing direction and then slowing down and then having to accelerate again. What Baker was describing when he talked about how Buka catches the ball is, he says the way he catches the ball and then grounds his feet, like immediately, instead of catching it, floating, landing, slowing down, then catching and speeding up again. It might sound really easy to everybody and a very obvious thing, but Baker was describing that when he catches the ball and has to leap for it, his feet get planted like immediately, and he doesn't try and create extra movements. He goes as far up as he needs to catch it, and his feet on the ground if he can, and then when he grabs it and pulls the ball in, he's running full speed still. Like, it just, the small little details and the kick returning mentality he has when he catches the ball and turns, he's not trying to get into this space to fall down or get into this space to get corralled and tackled and try and get extra 2 or 3 yards. Some wide receivers like Lockett, they never want to get hurt. They never want to get hit or hurt. So Lockett would catch the ball and just flop. That's not what you want, although it kept him healthy and he did good with it. Then their wide receiver, they'll catch the ball and just try and get extra yards. That's great. But what Buka does is Buka catches the ball and he's calculating and navigating the field and saying, how do I kick return this into the end zone? And that's the special playmaking nose for the end zone. Hendy's got the same thing. Any weapon that has a nose for the end zone has a kick returner mentality or history. And so Hendy, what does Hendy do? His first touch in the NFL, kick return for a touchdown. What does Hendy do when he gets the ball? Even when he's running or catching, he's treating it like a kick return. It's unbelievable when you watch these guys navigate space differently. And Buka navigates it like a kick returner. And I think that's a real important aspect, that he's going to have a nose for the end zone. And like Johnny said, he's going to be the kind of guy that scores. He's got the Puka Nacua upside in receptions, yardage, and grit, and route running, and determination, and speed and quickness. But he comes with that nose for the end zone that Puka doesn't really have. Not that Puka can't, develop it a little more, but Buka, not Puka, Egbuka, as a couple of you have called him in the chat already. He just knows how to get in the end zone. I can't wait. Hold on one second, my boy. You got anything else real quickly, and then I'm gonna go to the next caller. Anything else? Andrew from Maryland.
No, I think that was it. I think he fits with Baker well, and I mean, looking
Sure
at
does.
the other receivers there, I mean, how much time does Evans and Godwin left? Godwin's
Yeah, I gotta get these super chats.
he's
What
on
am I
his back
doing?
legs.
What am I doing? Guys, are you still here? Yeah. Okay, man. I appreciate you. Call back if you got another one. I agree with you. Later, bro. Everybody on the phone line, stay muted real quickly. Jake, appreciate your $20 hauler. Jake, you still here? I'm so sorry. I got so sidetracked. I got to get better at when I'm ranting in the beginning to getting straight to these super chats. I do usually wait like 5 minutes as I'm ranting, but then I just got sidetracked here. All these super chats should be on screen right now. I'll answer them right now. Is everybody that's on screen? Johnny, appreciate you. Call back if you got another one, Johnny. I'll be right back on the phone line in a second. Need that updated player by round grid. Player by round grid. Marty, you're gonna have to be more specific on that. You talking about on thefantasyfootballshow.com? Egbuka or Harvey, round 5. We're going with Harvey. Hopefully you can get Buka. I don't know. I'm going to say Harvey still. It doesn't mean that I don't love, I love Harvey as a top 6 to 10 running back. I love Buka as a top 12 wide receiver. You can understand my dilemma. But they're both fantastic, and it kind of depends on your team need. But it does suck. Hearing you even say that just kind of as a punch to the gut that we got to now pay maybe 5th round, maybe higher value. But the good news is we own him in so many best ball drafts and dynasty drafts. I mean, you can kind of, if you wanted to, let go of the idea of even drafting him. If he gets too high, and just say, I've got tons of Buka shares and I'll be okay. So just know that, you don't necessarily always have to follow the player up the ADP board if you've consumed a ton of that player at the good value. But I would say Harvey by a hair, but I want both of them still. Full PPR, drop Blue or Higgins for Little Bill. I would drop Jaden Higgins for Bill, assuming this is redraft. If it's dynasty, it's still a tough call all around, and I'd say drop your kicker and figure it out. Drop your defense. Buy yourself some time. Make some trades. But in a non-best ball redraft, I don't think you're getting anything for Higgins in a trade. So I would just cut him, and I wouldn't sweat that one at all. I like Higgins, but I don't need Higgins. And you're starting Higgins, you're probably in some bad shape anyway. I got the 7 pick in my 12-team work league. Don't want to face the likely risk picks of JJ, Puka, CMC. The guy at 11 spot wants to swap with me. Should I swap with him or hold the 7? I don't mind. 7's good, but if you get Genty there, will you get Bucky or London with that corresponding second-round pick? Maybe not. At the 11 pick, you're almost guaranteed to get whatever the hell you want in that Genty, BTJ, St. Brown, even Neighbors to a degree, who's going to practice again here. We'll see how he responds. If he has a setback, then it's panic to the freaking, to the max. If he has any sort of regression with the shoulder or anything. But the toe is still a long-term concern for the season, not the long-term on his career. But you could get BTJ, Achan. If you're worried about Achan, go BTJ and Bucky. Or go Bucky in round 1 a little early and then grab the receiver of choice. Maybe London falls there. So not afraid of that 11 pick, bro. The 11 pick's great. And if Genty falls to 11, if you believe Genty's even got a strong shot at falling into 11, then make the trade so you can get that second rounder hugging that first rounder a little bit more. Smitty, someone dropped Bill before the game. That's brutal, bro. That's brutal. In my 12-team Superflex Standard PPR Dynasty League Grandma, I have 70 of the fab. Some people have 100. How much do I use? The proper amount is going to be this right here. Let me find the button. Full load droppage.
Initiate full load drop.
Now, there is risk to dropping full load drops. If the player does end up busting, you never know, what can happen. Then you do run that risk, but it's very worth the gamble. I think at this point, it's pretty safe to say that the likelihood of being the best pickup of the year. Look at these old monsters here. Chase Brown. Let me get rid of these guys. These are old guys from the past. of being the best pickups of the year. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, certainly at this point anyway, we have our first 10. 10 doesn't mean that we won't have another 10. It just means that this is deemed as being full load drop worthy. And so let me get rid of these guys on screen too. Hold on. These guys are obviously full load drop worthy in the past, you can see. But we can definitely have multiple 10s. I try not to have too many. I want 10 to mean something. I want 10 to be kind of a rarity. And we usually don't have a 10 on the preemptive waiver wire content. I don't think we ever have. So this is a warning shot that full load droppage is required before the season starts. Is there risk? Yeah, but this is probably the best pickup of the year estimated right now. It could change as another player develops. Like, let's say Woody Marks just looks like as good as any player we've ever seen, like Bucky coming out, Egbuka to the moon. Let me go back over to this screen right here. Where were we at? Smitty 14-team league. Any moves to make look at before the season? Trading Tua, Achane, Harvey. Or no, your team is Tua, Achane, Harvey, London, JSN, Kincaid, Scary Terry, Downs, Pearsall, Sharps, Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen's got some trade value. Pearsall's got some trade value. I don't like Scary Terry right now because he's holding out and the risk of injury is just going to mount as he's 30 years old. And Debo looks so good. Not that Terry and JD5 won't get back to doing exactly kind of what they were doing. It's just the injury risk now. And it's going to be a little more crowded, but JD5 is going to be a little more better. So that might wash. I think the presence of Debo, the improvement of JD5 could certainly wash, and then Scary Terry's the exact same as he was last year. It's just added injury risk, and it's still not resolved right now. Caleb's got good trade value, so what I'm trying to do, even though I do still like Scary Terry, I just don't love his ADP in a fresh draft, like 4th round. I don't like that. Caleb and Terry, or Pearsall and Caleb, if you want to keep Terry, can get you probably just, one up that player, that whether it's a Hendy, which it would be hard to get now. Hampton might be hard to get. Kyron might be doable. You could trade Caleb for Breece Hall, throw Pearsall in. I would potentially do that personally. I think Breece Hall still got top 5 running back upside, even though you don't buy that at that upside, you buy it at a much later price tag. I think Garrett Wilson would be a good wide receiver to go after. London, obviously, you have already, but that's the one that I would have thrown out. JSN, maybe. MHJ, possibly, using Caleb and Pearsall. I'm not the biggest Pearsall fan like everybody else, so I'm very, very open to moving him at his high value. Caleb as well. I like Caleb. I just don't love the situation, so I definitely sell high. Not that I don't think it could work. It could work out. Trade Charbonnet for Egbuka. Right now, that seems like a great trade. Yeah. But just so you know, prefacing it, caveat, I mean, if Sharps gets in there, Sharps might be more valuable than Egbuka. But that is an if right now. It's not a guarantee or a certainty. But just know that Sharps is a starter. If Walker got traded or was injured and ripped off his groin from the bone, which seems like something Walker would do, then all of a sudden Charbonnet's a top 6 to 10 running back, maybe 5 to 10 running back. So, all right, phone line super chats are cleared out. Thank you guys for those super chats. Let me go over to Sebastian. You're live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, how's it going? I love the channel, by the way. I wanted to call because I had a trade coming in for my Dynasty League, and it was Garrett Wilson and Egbuka. That's who I would be receiving for Puka, Judy, and a 2028 third. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. I'm kind of on the...
All right, let me mute yourself real quick, caller. I'll be right with you. All right, give me the trade one more time. You get Buka and Garrett Wilson.
Buka
and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. And I'm giving up Puka, Jerry Judy, and a 2028 third round pick.
28 third. Okay. Yeah, I would do this trade.
You would?
Yeah, the way I look at it is Garrett Wilson and Puka are closer than I believe people make it out to be, because Garrett Wilson could. Now, while he hasn't been some 14 touchdown guy each year either, he's also been a pile of crap over and over and over. Puka lives in the most optimal environment possible, and Puka's got 9 touchdowns only in 28 games. He has still not reached double-digit touchdowns. 28 played games. Tucker crafted 7 last year. MHJ crapped the bed, according to everybody. He had 8. So Puka's had 9 in 28 games, and Adams is there. Stafford's got the back issue. Although Stafford looked good today, and he looked good yesterday, by the way, so is progressing well. But Stetson Bennett also feels very secure right now, so I'm just going to say that. But Ron Navy just dipped out. Ron, if you got anything else, call back and you can close it out if you want real quickly. But I would say, Buka closes this gap. I like Judy, the third rounder I could care less about. Judy and Buka by a country mile. Garrett Wilson and Puka, many would say Puka, but I think it's even. I truly, and I would not trade that way. I would not trade Puka straight up for Garrett Wilson because I don't need to. And you're doing what you're getting more, which is what you should be getting. I think most people will say that this trade is in the advantage of this side, though. So, like, if you could get more, it would be a smart idea to maybe try and get more. If you think you wouldn't blow the deal up, getting more wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me merge Ron. And hold on. So I would definitely try and get more, but I don't know that you'll be able to. And at the end of the day, again, I think Garrett Wilson's grossly undervalued. Puka's also a walking injury. And I say that with love because we love Puka. He's so phenomenal and fun to watch. And he's the epitome of an amazing receiver that you want to root for. So let me just make sure it doesn't sound like hate because it's not. But he's a walking injury. Already is mapped out his retirement at 30 years of age and said he wants to retire at 30. I mean, just hearing that out of a young wide receiver is a little bit like off-putting in a dynasty sense. You're like, come on, man. He wants to be able to play with the kids, he says, and lean down. But he's such an aggressive person to his body that he's definitely going to need that if he wants to walk away with no problems whatsoever. He probably will need to walk away at 30. But the other thing is, if Stetson Bennett doesn't stay good because it's the preseason, and Stafford does not even return next year from a dynasty. Is this a dynasty?
Yeah, dynasty.
Yeah. So from a dynasty perspective, what happens to Puka a year from today? Does he go down significantly in value? And in this season upcoming, you have Adams probably stealing touchdowns and maybe being. It would not shock anybody if Adams was the number 1 wide receiver on the team this year. Especially per start.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Definitely, yeah. I was definitely on the fence just because I think the gap between Puka and Garrett Wilson is not as big as how he values it. But I've been trying to whittle down the trade. He originally came at me with he wanted a second, but it's been back and forth for 2 days now, where it's just I finally got him down to a third, I guess. But I don't know if he's willing to go any lower than that. So, I mean, I like the trade right now. I think Egbuka is going to be amazing, so I definitely will probably accept this for sure.
Yeah. All right, my boy. Appreciate you.
All righty. Thank you.
Yep. Next up would be Ron. Did you need anything before you left, or were you just getting back in the phone line or something?
Oh, I went out to check the mail, and I had my phone next to me, and I
okay.
hit the button, hung up on myself. So, okay. Hey, right. But I do have one thing, then I'll let you go.
Let me just merge Scared Scott in real quick. Hold on. Scott, please mute your scared self real quickly, and I'll be with you in a second. All right, go ahead, Ron Navy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw the headline coming out. I'm sure you probably already know, but I saw that Scattaboo changed from questionable to healthy, his status.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got.
All right, my man.
Continue listening, and I'll talk to you later.
Right. Later, Ron. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Okay, let's go to 631. What's your name? 631, and where are you calling from?
Hey, Smitty, it's Fernando from New York. How's it going?
I'm good, bro. What can I do for you?
So I have my Dynasty rookie draft on Sunday, and kind of want to know who you draft at pick 5 and 6. The way I see it falling is you got Genty, Hampton, and Hendy going in the first 3 picks.
Genty, Hampton, Hendy.
Exciting to me.
So it's a key.
But are you still taking Hunter?
Genty, Hampton.
It's a dynasty.
Dynasty rookie draft. Okay.
Yep, dynasty rookie draft. Full PPR.
Yeah.
No IDP stats.
All right, Genty. We might need to do mock draft, like a rookie ranking video, probably. Okay, Genty, Hampton, Hendy. Okay.
And then either McMillan or Hunter goes at 4. I could see Hunter falling because there's no IDP in this draft or this draft setting.
Yeah. So for me, I know you want to know my answer. For me, this is going to be kind of a wishy-washy answer, but it's just the truth, bro. I'd be lying to you if I didn't give you my honest opinion. You know, this is a Buka hype show right now, but the bottom line is, after Hendy, and I have Hendy above Hampton, personally. After Hendy, Hampton, Genty are off the board, my order being Genty, Hendy, Hampton. It really comes down to position of need, because they're all things are equal. So then you can resort and fall back to that. But I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm looking at this and I just, Hunter's so talented and he's so versatile, and the Jaguars love him. And the GM is enamored with him. His head coach is wanting to do whatever he wants to do. The people are just hating him. It's a great storyline. It's great. It's it's going to backfire on all these doubting Donnies out there. But Harvey as well. Like, as much as I love Buka, this is a hype show for Buka. I do feel like I lean more Hunter and Harvey here, but Buka is still 5 or 6. Buka is in the top 6, no question about it. Being objective here, I still love Harvey as a top 6 to 10 running back. I love Buka as a top 10 wide receiver, top 10 to 12 wide receiver. I love Hunter as a top 10 wide receiver. There's some overlap between Buka and Hunter. I also said at the beginning and middle of this show right here that it would not be surprised if Buka was the consensus rookie wide receiver 1. Not only this year, but coming out of this year and heading into the future, he's got that much upside. So this is not something that's a really easy call, hence the wishy-washy response. But it really is a row of 3 tied players. And opportunity is going to be the determining factor. If Harvey gets fed Kamara volume, Harvey is worth Hampton. Harvey is worth the number 2 overall. Him and Hendy and Hampton are all tied, dead tied. And Harvey could even outscore Hampton and Hendy if he gets fed Alvin Kamara production. So it's all about opportunity. If Hunter is fed and given BTJ volume, and BTJ and him are equals, and people say that can't happen, Smitty, and T-Law's got to be a top 5, it's not true. It's nonsense. People are running their mouth. They don't know what they're talking about. T-Law could be QB 7 or 8 and produce 2 top 10 wide receivers. He could produce 2 top 10 wide receivers, T-Law, and be QB 7 or 8. People don't know what they're saying. They're not even doing the math. They're just saying it. It seems like this is right, so I'm going to say it. So Hunter could be the number 1 overall rookie. So Buka is amazing. Buka does feel like he's probably just a slight bit below Genty, Hampton, and Hendy, right? Whereas Hunter and Harvey could climb right next to those guys. So that's where I lean right now. But bro, Buka, the moment Buka starts shining even a little bit more, do not be shocked if this changes for me. I love these are all our children right here. These guys are just the future. All of them are amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely grabbing Harvey because my running backs are weak, and then I might just flip a coin on Egbuka and Hunter at that point if they're there, just based on what we're thinking here.
All right, my boy.
And then last piece. I have the last pick in the draft is 209. Are you smashing Krusty Merritt there at 209?
You're not getting him at 209. That's cute that you think you will. What makes you think he's dropping a 209, man? You better, if you're looking at ADP data or suggested rank, that hasn't been updated yet, bro. Krosky Merritt's going probably in the first round. He's probably going 12 or 2.1 or 1.10. Like Krosky Merritt at the 2.9. that bro, you know he's going on underdog right now in the 7, 8, 9 round range. He went from
I did not know that. I don't.
Yeah.
On
he went.
sleeper. He's in the rookie sleeper. He's going undrafted on the mock draft on sleeper.
No, he's not.
It's not updated.
Yeah, he's not. But he's not really.
I swear.
Yeah. No, I'm saying he's not really going undrafted. If you're actually mock drafting in the suggested rank, you can't even find him in 30 seconds. Like, he's not really going undrafted. He's getting missed because he's not listed. That's why you can't mock draft. Sleeper, none of these mock draft things are going to help you anymore. No one's over there. Ask me the last time I mock drafted. I'll answer it. The last time I mock drafted was probably 2.5 years ago. You know, if you ask any of my viewers the last time they mock drafted, you know, unless they don't have underdog, the answer is going to be, I don't remember. So, and then you think about, okay, well, what's that mean? All of the sharks, the really good drafters that are going to mock draft well are no longer, it's a ghost town. They're no longer over there. So guess who you're mock drafting with? A bunch of bozos half the time. Grandma and Edna. And then Stevie Boy in his grandma's basement, who just wants to draft, you know, let's say Hunter over and over. And as soon as he drafts Hunter, he bails in the second round and the whole thing goes auto-drafted, but then it counts because a human started the draft. There's no more mock draft. Mock drafting's a dead form of collecting information, unfortunately.
Appreciate it, Smitty.
All right, man. Later. Let's see here. 615 as quick as you can. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yo, Smitty, it's Jonah. I'm in Houston.
And Jay, appreciate this super chat. You say Buka a throne man. It might be, bro. I haven't put him on here yet. This is the in-season board. There's no Moon Man, Mars Man. That's all locked down. But Throne Men and Wild Wild West. Okay, I'm sorry. What did you say your name was, bro?
It's Jonah. I'm in Houston.
Jonah, what can I do for you?
Yeah, man. I just had my home league draft. I actually sent in a super chat. I go by Joe Blacko online.
Blanco. What's up, my man? I'm going to put you in as Blanco.
What's up? Cool. So, on my draft, I got a guy who has Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. And I was talking to him about Mahomes, but he's only looking at my Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. He wasn't really interested in anybody else. But he said he would be willing to move Daniels for one of those two. Would that be worth it, you think, to get JD5? Because I probably would rather move Chase Brown than Jamar Chase.
Say the trade one more time.
So it would be like my Drake May, and he said he would take Jamar Chase and Drake May for Jaden Daniels, but I'm gonna send him something with Chase Brown. That's what I'd rather do.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'd take JD5. Man, it's tough because it depends on what you think of Drake May. If you think Drake May is gonna be
one QB,
no, it's super flex. If you think Drake May is gonna be, you what?
One QB.
QB. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Sorry, thanks, Travis. No. I thought it was super. The way you're talking, I thought it was super flex. Okay, no. Bro, think about it. Jamar, what are you doing? Jamar Chase gets drafted 1 or 2 overall. JD5, even though we love him, goes in the 3rd round.
Right.
Chase Brown goes at the 1-2 turn. Chase Brown goes at the 1-2 turn. JD5 goes in the 3rd round. Now JD5 might climb into the bottom of 2, but like, yeah, what are you doing? No. I mean, you wouldn't have drafted this. Why would you trade for this? I thought for sure this is super flex because there's no way you'd be thinking this way in a 1 QB because you wouldn't draft this way in a 1 QB. You're buying someone drove JD5 off the lot, you're trying to buy it for him for the vehicle for $10,000 more than it was purchased when it was on the lot. Like, you can't do that.
Right. Yeah. Definitely, man. Okay. All right. I want to run it by you, man. I'm glad I didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, and Drake May's still pretty good, bro. I mean, maybe he's maybe he's 7 or 8 this year. You know, I don't mind getting into a different quarterback, but not doing this. You got to use your Corey Cross merit that you picked up.
Is number 1.
Yeah, I did. I was 1-on-1.
Yeah.
May's your number 1 QB. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, May. And then I got Caleb Williams on the bench.
All right, my boy. Thank you for calling in. Definitely don't do that. Good catch,
Yeah.
Travis. All right, later. Travis, you're live then. Scared Scott.
All right, so in a dynasty, if I want to trade for Jamar Chase, would you give up Achane and Neighbors if you're concerned about the Neighbors injury, or are you still holding tight with that? I know
Achane and Neighbors. For chasing what though?
For Jamar Chase.
No.
I could. It's a 10-man, so everyone's loaded.
Doesn't matter. That's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. I could maybe get something else. But.
Yeah, because the way I would look at this, if I was getting these 2 players for Chase, the way that my brain processes this is, could Achane outscore Chase? Probably not, but could he? Yeah. Could Neighbors outscore Chase? Probably not, but could he? Yes. With the toe and everything. So I have 2 pieces that could be as good as Jamar Chase. If Neighbors went out for the year, I still have a fighting chance for this trade to be as close to even as it could get. This is a lambasting. Yeah.
Well, I know I'd have to get something back with Chase, but
yeah,
I'm just curious how concerned are you with Neighbors?
A lot.
Long term.
Not long term. A long term season, yes, but not long term dynasty. But Neighbors, I think, if I had to throw an arbitrary number, just a guesswork number on the likelihood that he gets sat early before the season ends because of the toe, and they just have surgery because they're losing, and there's no point in running their franchise guy out there with a bad toe that's getting significantly worse every game. It's going to be worse. Every game is going to be more sore, and there's potentially more recovery that will be required. What you're going to hear eventually, this is the way it'll be worded, that it's going to take longer for him to rehab it and recover from the surgery, the more damage he does to it. The more he makes it harder for that, it's just going to be harder for the process to really take hold quickly. So I do think that there's a chance to get sapped. But again, even in that, you get Neighbors for, let's just say, he played for 14 games, and Achane maybe even missed, let's say, 3 games. Then that sum total is still crushing Jamar Chase, because you got into the playoffs because of that. And even if Neighbors sat because he got sat and they did the surgery, Achane could still outscore Jamar Chase in those final 3 or 4 games, and you're still way better off. So there's no world where I consider this, unless you're getting, let's say, I don't know if you could give me some names, but I would say if you were getting a player like Harvey or a Hunter or something to make it debatable, but even that's hard to. I mean, you're still going best player in the deal, second best player in the deal, maybe, and then Achane's the 3rd best, and then it's how far off is this 4th best from the 3rd best, and does it change the discrepancy between the no risk Jamar Chase and the risky Neighbors? I don't know. If you had a name you threw out, I could tell you whether it's worth it, but I would say this is very far apart. Very, very far apart.
All right. I guess my bigger question is so you don't worry about Neighbors long term whatsoever right now.
No, he's Neighbors my number one.
He'll end up being one of these guys where it's always something.
It's
he had injury problems last year, and now it's the toe and the back, and I'm not saying he will be. But it's just kind of a question in the back of my head, is he going to be one of these guys that's always dealing with something?
Well, the concussion too, there's a lot to worry about. But the other thing you got to think about is he's doing all this with hospital calls. I think if Dart ends up being the guy,
that's a good point.
Very much could change the way Neighbors is getting hit. And he's such a leave it all out there on the field. He's like Puka in that way. that you're giving him hospital balls while he's in that state, he's going to get hurt. I mean, I do agree. He's probably going to suffer some injuries until and if Dart can be what we hope he looks like he can be. Admittedly, I haven't been a big Dart guy at all, but I'm a little hopeful right now. He looks pretty good, but it's preseason. We'll have to see. I mean, for Hendy and Hunter. Create says, I don't know what this means. Did he send another super chat? Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. That was the last one that I had that I didn't. Did I answer this one yet? Let me see. Should I trade Hampton and Egbuka for Henderson and Harvey? He means Hendy and Hunter. Okay, so no Harvey. So should I trade Hampton and Egbuka for Hendy and Hunter? Hampton.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't. It's really close because of the way I feel about Hunter and Egbuka having the possibility of some overlap, and Hendy and Hampton having the overlap. But in general, I would rather have Hunter and Hendy by a little bit, because Hampton does live in an offense that concerns me more than Hendy's. You might say, what do you mean by that? I mean, the Chargers are a great offense, but they're not about one player. And this is a locker room that is ordered by numerical order, not by name. And you just never know what that's going to entail. And it doesn't mean I'm scared about his workload, Hampton, but Hendy is the most important player to his team than I think any player in the National Football League, outside of maybe Christian McCaffrey if he's healthy, to the Niners, because they're nothing without him. And Kamara to the Saints. And then, I just think that Hendy this year, though, becomes the most valuable player to his offense in the entire National Football League. I think because of his pass protection, because of his ability to get May out of not only those types of situations, his pass pro is that important, but also his ability to catch footballs, get those dump offs, the receiving aspect, the nose for the end zone. Hendy's the most valuable player in the league to his team. This is the definition of an MVP player. You could already see it. He's screaming, I am the most valuable player to my team in the entire National Football League. And Hunter, again, I still like Hunter more than I like Buka, but they're damn close right now. Damn close. And either one could be the number one wide receiver of this class for the entire future of their careers. They're that close. But I'd give Hendy the nod over Hampton, so that makes me very easily take the Hendy Hunter side. Not very easily, but I'm definitely taking that side. Travis, you were saying something?
No, you're good. You can go to Scott too.
Scared Scott, and then I'll answer this Xavier super chat. Scared Scott, go ahead. Thank you, Create, for the 2 supers. Scared Scott, what are you scared about?
This McMillan thing cleared a spot for me. I need to pick up a defense. And this is close, so I was just kind of seeing which one you lean towards. Dolphins at the Colts or the Commanders at home against the Giants?
Dolphins of the Colts. Danny Dimes. I don't trust the Dolphins defense as much as I trust the Commanders' entire team. You know, the way that they'll be set up by the offense, and also we judge these teams like, oh, the Commanders just got blown out by I don't care about scores in preseason games at all. The Commanders are so smart, they don't even care that they got blown out in that game. All they care about is when the starters are on the field and then they're assessing individual plays. What do you do in this 3rd down? What do you do in this 4th down? They don't care about the score. That's a smart team right there. They really don't. It doesn't bother them at all. I think the Commanders are going to be pretty good on defense, especially given the field position, the reciprocation of the offense feeding into the defense. And yeah, I mean, the Giants are still a big concern for me.
That's the way I was leaning.
But
Commanders for week 1.
Could the Giants have a better week 1 than we think? Maybe some moonballs get caught in this one, but I mean, I don't know. What we know of Russell Wilson, I mean, maybe Dart gets to start, but what we know of Russell Wilson is that he looks so great with a party hat on, and he does such a good job throwing the football into the tires. He's a great spectacle practice guy. And if Dart, let's say Dart got the start for some sort of crazy reason, then all of a sudden, you know, Dart's a rookie that's done good in the preseason, but now he's going up against the big boys, and we'll see what he does on a full course game. We'll see. The Dolphins, too, I wonder what their defense will be like. There's definitely some intrigue on both sides of this question. Cardinals are also kind of an intriguing defense this year, in my opinion. I normally am not a big fan of the Cardinal calls, but
the Cardinals in almost every league, but there was a couple where somebody outsmarted me and grabbed them before me, so I left it blank.
Love you, Smitty. You're my favorite Targaryen. Thank you. I know. Reference of the white-haired lion is what Fred calls me, apparently. Call me the white-haired lion. Should I trade for running back 1? Wide receivers are Nico, Neighbors, Hill, Adunze, Pittman, Addison. Running backs are Hampton, Pollard, Trey, Henderson, White, and Benson, Ingram. True running back 1. So Nico, Neighbors, Hill, Adunze. Nico, Hill, Neighbors. Yeah, I would trade Hill. I like Nico and Neighbors. I'm still shopping Neighbors at the right price because of the concern I have, unless this is Dynasty, which I assume it is, but I don't know for sure. But if it is redraft, then I'm shopping Neighbors smartly, not no matter what. And then in Dynasty, I'm not shopping them really. But Tyreek Hill, I think, is somebody I'm getting rid of. And I like Hampton. I love Henderson. You don't necessarily need another running back, honestly. But could you get Kyron for Hill? Maybe. I mean, Kyron goes after Tyreek Hill. Could you throw in Rashad White or Pollard or Addison or Pittman or even a Dunze to just upgrade your Hill into a Kyron or a Harvey? I mean, get Harvey, Hendy, and Hampton, and I think you're fine. I'm not even worried about that. But do I take a Kyron if I can? Could you get Bucky for that? Could Tyreek Hill, who goes at the 2-3 turn into a Bucky who goes at the late 2? They're not that far apart. Bucky goes at 18. Tyreek Hill goes at 24, 25. You're throwing in Addison and Pollard, or you're throwing in a Dunze and Pollard, and just say whatever. And I'm going to go get Bucky. Try that. If you pull that off, it's over. It's over. And then last super chat, and then I'll go back to the phone line real quickly. Now, how many people we got in here? 439 from YouTube. Hit that thumb up button. $10 holler, and subscribe if you're new, because I go live whenever news breaks. Thinking of CD over Gibbs at 1.4, which is fine. Scared Scott got scared. He left. 1.4, Bucky, Brown, Hendy, Rice, Harvey, and for 6, leaning Buka or Ingram. Good luck getting Buka in 6 now, but definitely grab him if he's there. If not, Debo's great. Would you take who would you take over Rice, and how early would you reach for Bill? Bill is going around 7, 8, 9 on Underdog, probably more like 9, 10 on grandma leagues, I would assume. But honestly, I wouldn't mind reaching at 9 if I needed to. I don't know about 8. It depend on who's on the board.
Sure.
What, Travis?
I said for sure. And in some redrafts, like with people who are paying attention, if he has another good, if he has a good preseason game, the last one, I mean, he's going to be like a 4th or 5th round pick. People who pay attention.
Can you imagine?
I know grandma leagues he won't, but
I'm in some Underdog drafts, like a lot of them, obviously, and every single one of them where I'm on the clock, and I'm on the clock, and look at how many I'm on the clock in. This right here. I've got 2 pages worth of teams. This is just one row, or one scroll. Every one of them on the clock, you know, I just ironically, just the way I started them all, I'm kind of in the like 8, 9, 10, 11 round range in all of them, majority of them. And I'm just picking off JCM like in every one of them on the clock right now because I'm on the clock in so many of them. Like no one can react. And some of them I've been on the clock for 5 hours. I got to hurry up. I just don't have time. I'm, live doing this stuff. I'm, trying to sleep a little bit here or there. Let me merge this call in real quickly. Caller, just mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. And so I'm picking off JCM. The earliest I'm taking JCM in these drafts, though, on Underdog is probably 9. He's there still. So, and then some of the cases where I'm just getting on the clock right now, he's still lasting till 9 on average, 9-10. But he's definitely gone in the 11 or 12 every time, and he's definitely going sometimes in 7. So it's all over the map.
Think about that, though. It's basically in a 24-hour period. He's gone from being free to being in that range. And there's still a ton of people who don't have a clue who he is.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you say Bill, there's always one person that says, who's Bill? Like, they still don't, So there's a lot of people that don't know who he is. Thinking of going CD. So, yeah, I answer this question. I don't mind CD at all, bro. I don't mind CD at all. Love CD. I don't mind Bijan, though. I don't mind going Bijan and Bucky or Bijan and Chase Brown. Hendy's fan. I don't mind going Bucky or Bijan or Gibbs and then going Bucky and Hendy and then going Rice, Harvey, Hunter, Egbuka. But see, Egbuka was our secret weapon, wide receiver 3 in builds where we went running back. Like in my buddy league that I've done for 20 plus years, that it might look like they don't know what they're doing. And this is just the way that buddy leagues are. And it's the way that non-best ball is, and how these guys, draft year over year in these types of formats. Let me see if I can put up this team. I think it's right here. So here's my squad that I drafted, and everybody thinks my wide receivers are trash in my league. They really don't take me seriously in this league. They think I just. Or they just pretend they don't. This is the way that it is. It's like if you're in a band, if anybody's in a band, you might feel this way. There's some people, relatives or family members that pretend they don't know you're in the band. They just, for some reason, they don't want to acknowledge it. But the same thing for me. There's people in my life that they literally pretend like they don't remember that I do this. They just like, oh, that's right. Don't you do that thing? But so even in my buddy league, they treat me that way. I've got RJ, Harvey, Debo, and Egbuka on my bench. They think I don't have good wide receivers. My brother said that when I said my team's fire, I told my brother that. And my brother looked at my team and he said, yeah, you're so good at trading. You'll rip somebody off and make this competitive. I'm like, what? Make it competitive? And then my other buddy's like, bro, your receivers are where it's weakest. Like you got good running backs, but you suck at wide receiver. I got Garrett Wilson at 5. I got Travis Hunter at 7. But I went running back. I went 4 running backs in a row, and Bijan, Bucky, Kyron, and then Hendy at 4.9. And then Hendy had his second preseason game, so he probably would have went, I would imagine, at the early 4 had that happened. But look at Egbuka, 10. Round 10. Debo, round 8.9. Harvey, round 6.9. So, it's hard to say. Like, these home leagues, Travis is right. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt could go from 10, 11, 12 down to, or up into the 4 or 5 round. But I kind of feel like right now, we need to see something crazy. Like, if he goes out there and gets like 30 yards on, even if it's 4.5 yards or 5 yards a carry, I don't know that he'll move much. I think he'll stay in 7. But we'll see. Yeah, they think my team is not. Oh, it's crazy. I don't even know what to do with my bench. Like, I don't even want to trade anything either, though, because the only player I missed out on was JCM, and I pushed it. And the news broke. We're still at the tail end of that draft. And not the game. The game didn't happen, but it was such a long ending to that draft. I've been showing my team, but we still have more picks to go, and it's been dragging. But the news about Brian Robinson broke right when I was 2 picks away, and I was like, because I thought no one was going to draft him at all. They don't even know who he is. And then the news broke about Brian Robinson. The guy was on the clock for like 10 hours, and it's like all of a sudden that he just happened to sit on that for that long, and he's like, oh. And he took Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt right before I picked. But I took Bashal Tutin after that, so I was fine with that. That's one of my next Bucky Irving potential guys. Thinking CD. So, yeah, love the approach. And the question about Rice viral, I like Rice a lot. MHJ, Garrett Wilson, JSN are the only guys I'm, strongly considering, especially in this league where you have so much depth, bro, and you got Egbuka. If you get this, this is his prep, not his actual team. So I don't think you're getting Egbuka that late, but I like Rice still. The question is, Travis, do you think Egbuka climbs into round 4, or is he climbing just into the top of 5? If you had to guess right now. Thank you, Ben.
What's the news on Godwin? Is Godwin supposed to be ready for week 1?
I don't think so. I think he's probably going to be. Let me pull up the most recent news on Godwin. But
I think that might determine some things, because there's still a lot of Godwin people out there.
Yeah, you're right. There are.
I'm not. But...
No. Yeah, he'll get hurt. Godwin ankle likely to start on PUP. Yeah, nothing's changed. So he'll be out for the first 4 games.
Okay, then yeah, he could climb a little higher even. Yeah,
like 4th round.
Because think about it. For people who believe in him anyway, if people don't know who he is or don't believe in him, I guess not. But they're going to look at what happened last year, and they're going to go, "Oh, well, Godwin and Evans were both amazing at the beginning of the year when they were together." And they kind of switched off actually a little bit, but both of them were putting up numbers. So in an average fantasy player's mind, they're going to say, okay, this can hold two receivers. They've seen it done, so they might believe in it. In other words, a lot of it is like seeing to believe for a lot of these players in fantasy.
Yeah. T-Wad, appreciate your super chat. Yes, thefantasyfootballshow.com. Easy to find me. I'm The Fantasy Football Show on YouTube. I'm The Fantasy Football Show on Instagram. I'm The Fantasy Football Show on Spotify. I'm patreon.com/The Fantasy Football Show. All these links are in the description too, T-Wad. But if you want my written content, my year-round rankings, my boy, we don't do no draft kit. Although I might do a draft kit this year.
The shoes are in the back.
Sorry, Ryan, but you're talking over me with whatever you're doing over there. But T-Wad, I might do a draft kit, which is more so like, well, not a draft kit. I might do some sort of like waiver wire and rise and decline package for like $9.99 during the season or something. If anybody doesn't want everything, the rankings every week and all the trade calculators. But you can go over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. That link, I dropped it, but it's also all of these links. All of my links are in the descriptions of my videos. So T-Wad, I'll see you over on thefantasyfootballshow.com. But I also urge you to get the Patreon, because you can ask a trade question live 24/7 with the group, not just with me. If some people like say, Smitty, answer this question. Smitty, where are you at? Like, it's not that kind. I'm there. I'm lingering, and at the end of the night or in the middle of the day, or I kind of go on there like 3, 4, 5 times a day, and I just go through a wave of trying to answer as many questions as I can. But it's about the community more than anything. But get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. My boy, appreciate you. We'll see you over there. And hopefully we see you on the Patreon too, because it's so great. 24/7 live chat group. And then real quickly, Travis, let me get these run the likes up for our boy. Thank you, Shoddy. Shoddy, where you been? Shoddy to the moon. And Ben says it's been a year listening and watching you guys, and my 2nd year playing fantasy, so hoping to kick ass this year. Bro, what do you have a team yet that you've drafted? I'd love to know what your team looks like, and I'll tell you right now if you're set up and primed and ready to go. Thank you for the super chats, guys. And then J9, appreciate you with the super chat here. 10 team PPR 2 wide receiver 2 flex, Lamb, AJB, Chase Brown, Hampton, JSN, Tet McMillan, Harvey, Bill, Hawkinson, Pearsall, Downs, Addison, Reed, Purdy. What is a good trade for JD5? In a 1 QB, I assume. I don't see Superflex anywhere. In a 1 QB, I don't know that anybody's going to trade him for Purdy. And maybe Dak, but that's a tough sell. Like, if this guy doesn't have like a Kyler Murray or not even Kyler Murray, but like another quarterback at that caliber that they like, they're not trading JD5. There's just it's not an attractive move in a 10-man league to be like, hey, I'll give you Purdy. You're like, it doesn't matter. Like, you almost could over offer, and they're going to be like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to start Purdy. Now, maybe Dak. Although I like Dak. Dak's your starter. I don't know why you put Purdy / Dak. It should be Dak / Purdy. But Dak's fine. You got Lamb. Not that it matters, but it's fun. I would say Dak.
Penix might be available in his league.
Yeah, bro. If Penix is there, drop Purdy and pick up Penix right now. Dak and maybe Dak and Tet McMillan for JD5. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. That's the best thing I can come, my boy. That's the best thing. And Pearsall, throw Pearsall in if you need to. I'd do all that for JD5. Just do it live. Plus, in this 10-man, there's so many players on waivers. I bet you Bill's on a lot of waivers. Not in this one, I guess Bill's not. I bet you Tootin's on waivers. You throw in Pearsall for free, or throw in Addison for free, and you can go get a Tootin or somebody amazing. Go get Marvin Mims on waivers in a 10-man. And so that makes it easy to throw. 10-man, you can give way too much because there's so much on waivers. Yep. Always overpay in a 10-man league to get the studs because, I don't know.
Studs dominate.
Yeah.
They dominate 10 teams.
All right, Travis, I'm going to get out of here. Any final thoughts on this topic here? Booker to the moon. Kind of ironic that this news dropped right after. Not only we've been talking. It's not like a Booker we're talking about the last minute or anything, but the fact that I dropped that video this morning. I did and last night I'm like, I got to do my Booker video for the morning. I stayed up till 4 a.m. and I dropped it at 4:30 a.m. just to make sure because I said what I don't want to happen is what happened to Hendy happened to Harvey. So I did the Harvey video yesterday. I want everybody to get as good of a lead on that as they can before Harvey skyrockets to the moon. And Harvey's going to skyrocket to the moon. What happened to Hendy, where he goes from round 5, 6 into round 3, sometimes 2, Harvey's going to climb to 3, sometimes 2 maybe soon. And then I said last night, I know Egbuka's next as well. Harvey and Egbuka are next. Corey Krosky Merritt, next up is Harvey and Egbuka. And I want to get a jump on it. So I did the Buka video. I recorded it all last night. It's not that it's new. We're just hammering it home. I hammered it home last night. I said the next Puka Nacua. I didn't give you 3 names. I didn't give you 4 names or 2 names. I said the next Puka Nacua and BTJ is Egbuka. And then what happens literally 3 or 4 hours after the video drops, we get even more news that skyrockets Buka up. It's like, man, everybody's had all off season to react to this. So it's not like it's, thanks for the short notice, Smitty. That was just kind of a reminder. And then the news broke. So whatever. It's kind of ironic though. I mean, the Bill news, like everything's just dropping. All these players are climbing.
Been talking to future Smitty.
Yeah.
Without telling us.
Maybe he is. Drop JCM or Blue for Zach Charbonnet off waivers. You gotta look. Blue's not in this conversation, even though we want him to be, and he could be later. Don't write him off. But JCM and Charbonnet have no business being on waivers. Manny, this is your problem, not mine. I know you want me to solve it for you, but you need both of them. You cannot leave Charbonnet on waivers. You cannot drop JCM, especially now. Why would you drop Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt when he just went from rags to not only riches, but might be a 5th round pick here real soon, but is at least a 7, 8, 9, maybe 6, 7, 8, and you're about to cut him? This is like getting a Bitcoin when it's, 20,000 and it jumps to 100. You're like, should I get rid of it? Like for nothing? Drop it? Should I just throw it in the gutter? Like you can't, Manny, you can't do that. Like we love Charbonnet. You got to get him, but you're not cutting Bill. You could trade Bill right now. You put Bill up on the trade block right now. You get 15 offers. You get 15 offers, and there's only 11 other people in the league. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like feeling like they're missing out on JCM right now. So, now, the only other thing I was going to say, and I'll jump off, is I heard you mention it when you were answering a question. Tootin is going undrafted in a ton of leagues, like a lot.
So
constantly seeing the chat. People are asking about picking him up. So, take him in your last round. If he's out there in your league, get him and stash him.
Yeah, I definitely would go get Tootin. Tootin is, and that's why I did the video the other day. And Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt was on it. For anybody that missed it, let me put the graphic up if I could find it. And the next Bucky Irving graphic. Where is that? Here it is. So go watch this video. The next Bucky Irving. This is posted before I might have posted this after the Brian Robinson Jr. news, but we've been talking. It's not like we're new on Bill.
No.
Or was it before?
Well, it wasn't before. It wasn't before they officially said they're looking to trade him. There were rumors of it.
Okay.
And I think it was the day before or the night.
Yeah, but this video.
Whispers of it.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Bigsby Tootin. Go watch this video if you're unaware of Tootin and you're leaving Tootin out there. Don't let him toot in the wind. Don't leave him tooting in the wind. He's sitting there waiting for you to pick him up. All right, Travis, we'll see you on the 8 p.m. show.
Yeah, later, Smitty. Thanks.
Okay. All right, guys, appreciate you all. Thank you to my super chatters. You guys absolutely rock. Jake, did you end up, were you here when you dropped that super chat, Jake? Smitty, you can answer my super chat. Smitty, answer my super. Yeah, I'm here just watching the show. Okay, Jake, so you did get my answer. Thank goodness, man. I'm sorry I waited so long to answer that question. Anybody else that dropped a super chat, I promise to do better. And always vow to work harder on answering them right away. I got on a rant at the beginning of the show. I'm sorry. So don't think you can't drop those and get good service. I promise I will answer better and better and better. What a week we're having here. All right, guys. See you at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Space Ricky. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Vampy. Thank you, DeBalt. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Additionally, live whenever big news breaks. Appreciate you all.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Mr. London, what seems to be the problem? I've been a little off. Can't seem to get things going, if you know what I mean.
I think I have just the thing for you, Mr. London.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6.
What is that smell?
Scat back at practice.
Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week.
Scat is back at practice.
Call the scat man. He's the scat man. He's scatting all around. Scoring loads when he's called upon. He will ground and pound. Scat man, yeah. He's the guy you call when things go astray. Scat man can score all day. He's the scat man. Scat man. Scat man. Scat man. Scat man will score TDs. He will make you get on your knees and say, please, scat man, I beg no more. I've had enough of your touchdown galore. Please, scat man, I beg no more. I've had enough of your touchdown galore.
See you all at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever big news breaks. I'm additionally live at 8 p.m. every single Monday through Friday, and I'm live at midnight Eastern almost every single night where we'll be drafting on Underdog. Make sure you click this link and sign up right now so you're not scrambling to get in. There's the link. Boom. Hit it. Do it live. See you all tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and then again at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific time. So see you both shows. Minimum